All right, hi you guys. Today is Thursday, October 20th, okay? October 20th. All right, so some updates in regards to my part-time job. So, y'all who may just be catching on for the first time, I am employed. I am employed at my part-time job where I make $17.50 an hour. I work 20 hours a week, okay? But as of August 15th, I applied for a short-term disability. August 15th, okay? It's August 20th now. So last week, so this probably was around what, the 14th or something, probably around like the 14th of October. So I'm sorry, let me not get ahead of myself. So there was an instance where I applied for a short-term disability. After I went to my doctors, I had an issue with my Medicaid. My primary care doctor, Medicaid, had changed on me. I didn't even pay attention to that when they renewed it for me or changed it on me. So my first appointment was canceled. So I had to wait another week to get in with my, I had to, wait basically another week to get a new appointment with my primary care doctor once Medicaid updated who my primary care doctor was. And once again, I had to wait for another available opening. So now you figure at this point, I'm like 2 weeks out of the job, okay? So once again, I got out of work as of August 15th. Personally, y'all, I was thinking just about quitting, okay? But I'm like, Candace, this is not you. I could do the job, the job is not, I tell people it is not ideal. It is customer service, it's in the finance industry. It's not ideal because of the company I work for. They're just so unorganized, okay? So it caused me a lot of anxiety. And the anxiety part wasn't the reason why I even applied for short-term disability. It was because my mood started changing. And for me, I know that around this time of the year, fall month, like going into fall, I deal with seasonal depression and my mood changes. So I was getting very irritable, not wanting to get out of bed, not washing up, and I was doing really good, okay? I've been taking care of myself. Yeah, not every day is perfect, but I seen a change in me, okay? And I was going downhill, and I'm just like, Candace, I'm already on, what was I on a written? I was on a written notice for my attendance because of my depression, my regular depression, because I would call out. There were days where I'm just like, I just can't, I just can't. And it would be more than one day, but when it got really bad, I'm just like, I need this time for myself, and I was on a written. So I'm like, girl, you're going to lose this job. This is my whole thing. I'm like, you're going to lose this job because of your depression, okay? So these things are leading up to it. But when my seasonal depression hit, I'm just like, Candace, you need help. So once again, I finally got in with an appointment with my doctor. Now, this is a new job for me. I started this job as of December 15th of 2021. So I have never dealt with who they go through for short-term disability, okay? Never, okay? So what ended up happening was this short-term disability company sends the forms over to my doctor. I don't get to see what they're asking for. All they sent to me was that we'll be sending over, we'll be asking your doctor to submit documentation. So what ended up happening was when I went to my doctor's appointment, I let them know that they need, the doctors had it, they had the documentation. As I mentioned, I don't see what the doctor needs, okay? So I can't be proactive. All it says is that the paperwork that I got is that we just need the doctor's notes. It didn't say a form to fill out. I'm used to a form to be filled out, okay? That's what I'm used to in the past, okay, with my previous job. But this one, I'm like, oh, they just need notes. I thought that was kind of weird, but at the same time, they don't send me anything. They sent everything directly to the doctors. So, I got there. I'm like, yeah, I'm here for, to get, a, like, to speak about my short-term disability, my possibility of short-term disability. Because at this point, I don't know. This is something you're applying for. When you go out on disability or apply for it, you don't know if it's going to get approved, okay? So, it took like almost a week for them to transcribe my doctor's notes, okay? So my doctor records his notes on like a little cassette, a recorder, and then there's a person that transcribes it and types it up, okay? So that took almost like a week. So now I'm out of work for 3 weeks at this point, okay? I finally called, I think it was like the following Monday after because I was keeping in contact with my doctor's office to see if it's been transcribed, and they were like, nope, we're still working on it. And I think there was a holiday in between there or something like that. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like there was a day of like a holiday. So I'm like, additional day waiting. So the following week, because in between this time, just so you guys are aware, my job has been calling me saying, hey, Candace, if you want to get paid for this pay period, we haven't received anything. And I'm like, yeah, I'm, trying to get things from my doctor and so forth. And they were like, okay. So going back to this, I'm sorry, I just got to give you the whole gist, okay? So where was I at? Okay, so yeah, my doctor office let me know that they have finally faxed it over to the short-term disability company. So I'm like, okay, awesome. Now we're gonna get the show on the road, right? Gonna get the show on the road. So the following week, so this probably was like on Friday, my doctor's office told me that they faxed this transcribed doctor's notes over. So I think it was like Monday or Tuesday of the following week. I didn't see any update with short-term disability. So I ended up calling my caseworker. And my caseworker, she picked up. No problem. She picked up as soon as I called. And I'm like, hey, she got my everything pulled up for me. And I was like, I was just checking on the status of my claim. I said, my doctor's faxed over the doctor's notes that you guys requested. Okay, I got a call coming in. Hold on, y'all. Okay, you know what? Is this like the same number that tried to call me before? Hold on. Okay, so they hung up. I guess it's not that important. Okay, so where am I at? Oh, yeah, so, my caseworker picks up. No problem, okay? No problem. First time I call, she picks up. And she's like, oh, I'll review it right now, This is what she tells me. She was like, she sees my doctor's notes. So I'm like, we're good, right? She's like, all I see in here is that he's kind of want to see you in like 4 weeks to see how the medication is working for you. And I'm like, yep. And she's like, but there doesn't say anything in here about taking you out of work or when you should return to work. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I didn't discuss that with him. Like, I discussed with him, being out of work, but like, he didn't put that in his notes, okay? As I mentioned, I'm used to a form, and the forms are specific, and it asks for the doctor to fill this out. And she was like, then she proceeds, she's like, yeah, there's nothing on here saying when you should return to work, or that he took you out of work. It just shows here what he's treating you for. And I'm like, she's like, if in this doctor's recording, if it says that if it gave that information, I would accept it. But we also sent your doctor a form to fill out, and they sent it to us empty. I'm like, so there was a form. Now, as I mentioned, I don't get to see any of this stuff, okay? I don't get to see any of this stuff. When I first applied, it says we'll be reaching out to your physician or whoever you're dealing with to get their notes. That's it. So I'm like, all it says is on my end is that you just wanted notes. It didn't say a form as well. So I'm like, okay, man, understood. So now I gotta wait another week to book another appointment. So now you figure this is probably like this is 4 weeks almost at this point, right? So I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I got another appointment with my doctor. And this time I'm like, hey, y'all, there should have been a short-term disability form for you guys to fill out as well. So I had to, actually do another visit with my doctor, speak with him. He had to write down what I'm dealing with, why I should be taken out of work, when I should be returning to work. And he said that I should return to work within 2 to 4 weeks. Now, at this point, it was like, what is it? At this point, it's like in the middle. It's in the middle of September. It's probably like September 12th or something, okay? So he fills out the form and he says to return to work between 2 to 4 weeks. So you figure 2 weeks probably would have brought me to like October 1st. 4 weeks would have brought me to like the 14th, okay? Like the 14th, 13th, or 14th. And I'm like, okay. So they said that they were going to fax the doctor's office, and I had to pay. Look, at my doctor's office, even though I'm on Medicaid, any forms you have to have filled out, whether it's for the DMV, of FMLA, short-term disability, any forms that your doctor has to fill out, there's a $25 fee, which I'm cool with. I'm cool with that, because you figure with Medicaid, I don't have a copay. And this is something I'm already familiar with, so there's nothing there. But it was just like, all of this could have been stated before, that I could have been adamant about a form being in those documents. I didn't get to see anything, so so we go on. I got that information, submitted it that same day of my appointment. So let's say September 12th. Submitted it. A week or two goes by, because I'm like, he already says on the thing, he said I could be out between 2 to 4 weeks. So I'm like, 2 weeks is getting up there. My job called me, hey, Candace, we got another pay period coming. We haven't received anything from your short-term disability. Can you call your caseworker, see what's going on? Because I said, yeah, I did reach out to her. I didn't get a call back. I said, I'll try to call again. So after that call, I did try to call my caseworker again. I left a message saying, hey, I took pictures of the 3-page form. I uploaded it to my case online, and my doctor's office faxed it that same day. So I'm like, either way, she should have gotten it, right? I didn't get any response back. I'm checking on the website, no updates. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. A week goes by, okay? A week goes by, and I'm like, I try to call her, it goes straight to voicemail. And I'm like, okay. So I ended up calling regular customer service. Okay, it's not my caseworker. It's just another caseworker, right? This caseworker tells me, oh yeah, we received your document, but we have to, because it's for anxiety and depression, we have to have a nurse look at it and, get it approved from their end. I'm like, fine, that's okay. This person proceeds to say that you should hear back from us within a day or two. Nothing. I didn't hear back. So in my mind, I'm like, Candace, something ain't right. Something's not right. Okay? Something is not right. And I'm like, Candace, if this doesn't get approved, then what, right? So I'm like, this is the part that's stressful, right? Because it's everything's in limbo. Okay, first you got the doctor's office having to fill out paperwork. If they don't fill it out right, then it could be a back and forth there. In this case, it was pertaining to my this new insurance company that I've never dealt with. So a week or two goes by. During this 1 to 2 weeks, I've tried to call my caseworker, and it still goes to voicemail. And I at this point, I'm not leaving any other messages. Okay, I'm just like, I'm so over leaving messages. That's not my problem. So eventually, okay, I let another week go by, and these timings could be like a couple days, or most of the times it's been like a week or two in between things, because I'm just like, I'm not going to stress myself out. Okay. But I will say, as of last week, I think it was Thursday or Friday of last week, as I mentioned, right now it is Thursday, October 20th. I call, okay, and I get somebody on the phone, and she proceeds to say, yeah, the nurse approved it. I'm like, excellent. She's like, yeah, she approved it up until, I think it was like September, like the end of September. I'm like, ma'am, I'm happy it's getting approved. I'm so appreciative, okay? But I'm still out of work because there has been no communication from you guys. I said I could have been back at work. And I knew this, y'all. I could have been back at work. And I'm like, I should not be penalized for me waiting on my caseworker. So she goes to say, she said, I'm sorry. And I'm being super nice, because I'm not frustrated, because in the past I would have been, but right now I'm just so cool, calm, and collected, y'all. So cool, calm, and collected. I'm like, it's not going to frustrate me. I've been through this rodeo. I'm in a much better space, and I'm not going to be worried. Financially, I'm okay. We got a roof over our head and all of this, But still, it's still frustrating, but not getting me worked up. So I'm not being rude, but you have to be adamant with people, right? You have to stand your ground. So she was like, yeah, I don't want to step over your caseworker's foot on her case. And I'm like, ma'am, I have tried to call her probably for like the past, it was like 3 or 4 weeks, and she hasn't responded to me. And I said, I do not, and I've mentioned this to you guys as well. I said, I don't know if she's working, I said, I don't know if she's working. And I said, if she is out on leave herself, or if she's no longer there, or if, she's, dealing with something herself and she's not working, is there somebody that's supposed to take over her workload? Yeah, we're always supposed to have a backup. I'm like, okay, so where's the backup been for like the past 3 to 4 weeks? And she goes on to say, I'm sorry. Now if you wanted to get it, the claim approved for these additional times, you're gonna have to get another note from your doctor. I'm like, ma'am, it's going to take me probably another week to get another appointment, but I should not be penalized for something that y'all should have been taking care of. I said I could have, based on my doctor, I could have been back to work as of like the 14th, okay? Because he filled it out like on September 12th. Once he filled out the actual form, he said I can return back to work between 2 to 4 weeks. So that would have brought me, the 4 weeks would have brought me to like the 12th or 13th of October. I'm calling her as of like the 14th of October, okay? And I was like, ma'am, I said, if that's what I have to do, that's what I have to do. book another appointment, have them fill out another form, which I have to pay for. I said, ma'am, you have everything. You guys have everything. It's not my fault that my caseworker or your company is not following through, And I just kept going over and over with her. And she was like, I really don't want to step on her toes. I'm going to send her an email. I said, ma'am, I have called her multiple times over the course of the month. And I'm not getting any response, And so she was like, you know what? I'll review it. Let me just review this really quick. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to approve it for you up until, and then she's like, wait, so if she goes on to say, so when can you return back to work? She said, when do you want to return back to work? I said, ma'am, I could return back to work today. This is like on a Friday. She was like, how about we, give you some time. She said, how about we give you some time and have you return to work on the 19th, which will be Wednesday. I was like, cool. So she approved it up until the 18th of October, you guys. So I'm very fortunate for that, okay? Now, on this Friday, I reach out, now that I'm like, oh, I got approval, my job should be getting this information, right? Because at my previous job, return to work information was always submitted from the short-term disability to the company. So they knew when I was returning. I didn't have to say anything. So before she got off the phone, I was like, ma'am, will you guys be contacting my job to let them know that I'll be returning? How does this work, She's like, I gotta review that. Every company is different. So for mine, she's like, yeah, no, we wouldn't tell them that you'll be returning to work. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So I text my manager. Now, really quick, let me say this. In the past, when I've called out, I'm like, hey, I'm calling out. I don't have to say who I am, okay? That means my name is in all these managers' phones, okay? Especially my manager. So this time, on Friday, on like the 14th of October, I text my manager saying, hey, I just got word that my short-term disability has been approved up until the 18th. So I'll be returning as of the 19th. And she was like, excuse me? She said, who is this, right? I'm like, this is Candace. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I don't even know why your number didn't come up in my phone. So automatically, I'm like, yo. I'm like, that's so, to myself, I'm like, stop, Luna. I'm like, that's so messed up because you deleted me out of your phone. You probably thought I wasn't coming back. So that was like, that just shows you what type of like management we have at this company. And I don't even care, but it's just like, really, you deleted me out of your phone? She's like, okay, good, I'm happy. She said, what we will need though is for you to get a doctor's note saying that it's okay for you to return to work. I said, the approval from short-term disability doesn't do anything. She said, no, you have to get a doctor's note. So on Monday, I ended up going to my doctor's office, and the front desk got my doctor to fill it out, like a little, on the prescription pad saying Candace will be eligible to return back to work as of the 19th. So yeah, y'all, that was it. So I'm back to work now. I'll be off the phones and in training for the next week and a half. Now you figure it's kind of longer for me because I'm only part-time, okay? So I don't work an 8-hour shift. So yeah, there we go with that. So another thing, let me mention this. I sent an email on my first day back, so that would have been yesterday, as of the 19th. I sent an email over to the person that my manager originally told me to reach out for to discuss anything about my short-term disability and what they may need or anything like that, or just the pay, like for HR, HR representative. So I sent the email over to the HR representative. I say, hey, this is Candace. I'm just returning back to work. I was just wondering, did you need anything from me in regards to like so to figure out what I'm gonna get paid or anything like that? I forgot it was along those lines though, because there's been no communication. And I know everything's fairly new because all of this was updated on Monday, on Friday. So I don't know when they would have got, like, my HR would have gotten that information. So say for if they probably got that on Monday, but I didn't get any update at all. So I emailed. So this is as of Wednesday, once I'm able to get back in and email. And I came into work today, Thursday. I didn't get a response from this person. So I'm looking through my phone and I'm like, who's this? I'm trying to find the number that called me like 2 or 3 times since I've been out of work, you know? So I ended up calling and she picks up. I'm like, hey, this is Candace. I just returned back to work yesterday and I was just wanting to know or follow up with you about my short-term disability and my pay. What's going on? Did you need anything? She said, oh, give me a moment. She looked everything up. She said, oh yeah, we got everything cleared. We got everything. Everything's been approved. So she said from September 1st through the end of September, whatever that last day is, I think it was like, it's going to be 88 hours in that paycheck or in that one. And then from October 1st through the 15th, that will be another one. So you figure there's going to be 3 paychecks and that will all be paid out on October 31st. So yeah, y'all. And what I'll be doing is replenishing that into my, I'll be replenishing that into my savings account. Okay. So yeah, that's where we're at, y'all. That is where we're at. But I have some other news for y'all. Because your girl was not slacking. After a month of being off of work, everything just didn't sit right with me, y'all. Between not getting any callbacks from this thing, and so you guys know I always have a plan, right? I always have a plan. Amazon was plan B. I got a plan C. So I'm gonna talk about plan C shortly. Wow, y'all. I'm like, man, she deleted me. And the first day I was back, so between yesterday and today, so like say 4 hours on the first day, second day, which is today, I spent like 2 hours looking through emails. So yesterday and today, between those 2 days, it was 6 hours reading through emails. The other 2 hours, I just kind of looked at, stuff, but it's stuff that I know, but I do have to refresh my brain because your girl was not thinking about any job, especially not this job while I was out. Not at all. Not at all. So yeah, y'all. Yep. So she's like, yeah, just take it slow. She said you probably won't be on the phones until like, once again, like a week and a half, because once again, I am part-time. So, where it may take somebody else faster to get through it, my time is cut in half. So I just wanted to update you guys on all of that. So yeah, short-term disability finally got approved after jumping through hoops. And once again, I'm happy I got this other lady on the phone. I'm pretty sure my caseworker would have done it too, but I'm like, I don't know what's going on with her. I hope she's okay. But it was just like a major disconnect because I'm like, yo, I could have been back to work like 2 weeks ago, But it's whatever. Everything works out. Gave me my money. Oh, yeah, the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. Remember my last paycheck I had got like 2 paychecks ago? Or the last paycheck I had got? It's weird because remember I was like, my paycheck was like $500 and something, and I'm like, where did this money come from? Remember that? Because I'm like, I shouldn't have gotten a paycheck. I was not anticipating a big paycheck. I knew there would have been like 4 hours worth of pay, but to have a paycheck of $500. So now that I was able to get back into the system, I was able to look up my pay stub, and 28 hours on that pay stub was short-term disability. So I'm guessing like the representative from HR, she pushed it through for like the first 2 weeks. And then after that, it was just like, okay, we can't keep losing money, She probably thought I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. So, yeah. So that's where that came from. I'm like, cool, But, yeah. So, yeah, I got 3 paychecks to get paid for. So that's very good. Very, very good. I'm happy. I'm happy it's getting approved. Even if it didn't, I just knew I didn't have a job coming back to it. So that was just like up in the air, like what should I do at this point, right? And it's just like when you rely on somebody else, you can't determine what's going to happen. But as I mentioned, my doctor, he's familiar with me, so I didn't have an issue. But it's just like, who else is going to read this document and think it's not sufficient enough? That's what goes through my head, So yeah. But yeah, good news, y'all. But I'm going to talk to you guys about Plan C in a bit. So stay tuned. I'm very fortunate, you guys. Very, very fortunate. And yeah, I'm going to talk to you guys soon. All right, bye.